You're watching The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler at your mom's house.
Welcome back to The HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here at Studio Jeans doing it at your mom's house. I am Ryan Sickler. Ryan Sickler on all social media, ryansickler.com. Happy Memorial Day. I'm going to hit all the cameras on that one. Happy Memorial Day out there. It's a Monday. Happy Memorial Day. I want to give you guys some dates. June 13th through the 15th, I'll be in Richmond, Maryland, and Atlantic City with Tom Segura. June 27th through the 30th, also with Tom Segura in Tulsa, Wichita, and Kansas City. August 1st through the 3rd, I'm at the House of Comedy in Minnesota, and I'm in Baltimore in September. And as I always say, thank you for the positive feedback, the emails, the messages. I really appreciate it. I'm glad this show's resonating with a lot of you. And please make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed to your mom's house YouTube page as well. Get on it. You get the video every Tuesday. Website here, thehoneydewpodcast.com. That's where you can find the merch. That's where you can find all the social media links. That's where you can email me. And if you are new to the do, we're highlighting the lowlights over here. These are the stories behind the storytellers. And today, my storyteller is one of my favorite people. Please welcome Kira Soltanovich.
I love the way you say it.
You love it?
I love it.
You love it?
With that Baltimore accent.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here.
Look, you've had a couple of fantastic Crab Feast episodes, which we've covered a lot of your life. And right. I always reach out to everybody, just so you know, before they come on and say, give me a log line, just my parents' divorce, a car accident, a near death, whatever it is that you want to talk about. And I knew you would come correct. And before we get to that, would you please plug, promote anything you'd like anyone to know about you?
Okay. KiraComedy.com was hacked. It is no longer hacked.
What do you mean? What happened when it got hacked?
Too bad, Japanese dildo makers. It's not going to work out for you guys. I figured it out. I don't know what happened.
What was the hack? What did they do?
So I'm an idiot. I can barely work a microwave. So I don't know how the whole web works, but I do know I'm with GoDaddy to host, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So somebody logged in as me and was like, what about black dildos? And they just took over my whole...
It really was dildos?
It looked like it to me. Right. Maybe it was cooking supplies. I don't know. But it was... Also don't know how to cook. So it was aggressive and frightening, and it's no longer hacked. So I'm back. Go to KiraComedy.com.
All right, KiraComedy.com.
That's me. And that's also my Instagram, and that's also my Twitter. And
any shows?
Foursquare. What's going on? Yeah, I have some. When's this coming out? Memorial Day?
Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day.
Hey, yay. Oh, it's my wedding anniversary.
Today?
May 24th. It just happened.
All right, well, happy anniversary. Look at that.
I don't know what day it is. We're recording this in 2017, so I don't know.
For a 2020
post. Yeah. Good. I have some shows. Go to Kira Comedy.
All right.
Get some show dates. You'll find some Japanese sex toys and, info about me.
Very nice. All right. You told me you had a story that I've never heard before.
I don't think so.
Haven't. No.
Okay.
So you know what the show's all about.
Okay. This one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, my husband and I, speaking of wedding anniversaries, we got married in 2008. I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
11 years.
All right. 11 years. So we were, talking about starting a family, right? So in 2009, right? I wanted to be married for at least a year, right? We talked about it. We didn't do anything serious. We didn't go talk to doctors. We didn't think anything was wrong, right? So we just started, casually.
As my friends say, it married people sex.
Yeah. We were doing it, but I wasn't tracking anything. I wasn't being serious about it. All of a sudden, I miss a period. So I was like, well, I'm going to go pee on a stick, right? I'm going to treat myself nice. I'm going to get one from CVS, right? Not like a Walgreens bullshit, you know what I mean? So this isn't a Rite Aid pregnancy, right? We're going to...
Walgreens does seem to be the low man on the
I
totem
don't know
pole
what
drugstore.
What are they still doing? Are you guys still around?
Walgreens is the honeydew of the goddamn drugstores.
It is.
It's like CVS, Rite Aid,
Walgreens. Yeah. Remember Woolworths?
I do remember.
I do remember Woolworths too. We're old. So I get a test, and I'm like, holy shit. And I go get 25 more. And I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. So I decide.
Are you thinking there's like maybe this first one is a mistake? So you got
because the first time I actually pooped on it and it came out positive. So I was like, am I doing it wrong?
Came out positive.
Read the instructions is all I'm saying. If anyone out there, just read the back of the box. It just takes a second. That's not how you.
All right. So stick number 2, you figured it out.
Yeah.
But number 3 is the one that convinced you were actually pregnant.
Look, if I was doing a montage in a movie, it's like me spitting on it and then me rubbing it under my armpit because I'm an idiot. No, I peed on him and I was like, all right. So I wanted to surprise my husband. So I was like, okay. And we decided to go take a hike, right? Because we got some great hikes in LA. I go up Runyon Canyon. I have this pee stick in my jacket pocket, like my zip up. Is it wrapped
in anything?
I wrapped it in some paper towels.
Oh, yeah, classic.
It's not soaking. Yeah. It's not like, it's dry, right?
Well, I asked because a friend of mine, his wife did this really nice, like put it in like a watch box and all this shit and surprised them with it. That's why I was like,
right.
Is there going to be a presentation or are you just rolling it out of a brawny?
I had it in a brawny.
All right.
I didn't know it was my first time doing this. So I take him to the top of this mountain and it was like my version of a proposal. I was like, do I do it now? Do I get down on one knee? And I said something corny and I showed it to him and he was like, both of us were like, completely not excited.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It was just lackluster.
I don't know. We were like...
like you just said no on the Jumbotron?
It wasn't exactly. It wasn't what you think it should be. It was not what you think it should be. Like you think it's going to be like we embrace and we kiss and we're starting a family together and I start breastfeeding the positive pee test. It was not that. We were both like... all of a sudden it hit us and we were like, fuck. So you start to do all the like, oh, I got to find a doctor now. I hated my OBGYN at the time.
Do you remember what he said? Do you remember what
Honestly,
he first said?
He was like, okay. It was, we were kind of excited and happy, but.
You just hit him right at the top of it. He's all like, all right. What do you think? We're about 3 miles. We're pregnant? Holy shit.
Yeah, you better get in shape, old man. You're going to have to chase a toddler around. Yeah, that was my way of telling him.
At the top of the mountain.
At the top of a mountain. So I start looking up like new doctors. I hated my OBGYN. I hated her so much. My last appointment with her, I sat on that fucking butcher paper. I'm not exaggerating, an hour and a half.
Come on.
An hour and a half with just that little butcher
She's
paper.
Out at lunch and shit.
Ryan Sickler. That's your name, right?
Yes, it is.
I got out of the hallway. I wrapped it like a towel. I did. I started walking up and down the hallway and I knock on every door. And I open up a door. She's at her desk eating a sandwich.
She really was.
She really was. I can't believe you said that. She's at her desk like mid-sandwich. And I was like, you better wash those hands.
It's meant to see the fall. I'll be there in a minute. You know how big these things are.
I got a side salad. And I just looked at her and I go, really? Like, we're all hungry. I'm hungry too.
I've been in there 90 fucking minutes.
90 minutes.
I missed DoorDash 3 times.
So I knew I had to find a new doctor. I found a fancy schmancy doctor in Beverly Hills. So what I was told you have to do is you have to go and like meet them first, right? So I go in and he's world renowned. Like, this is like who Heidi Klum, spreads her legs for. Like she puts her feet in stirrups for him. And he has seen all of them, right? And so he says, well, when's your last period, right? They go over all the things. How are you feeling? This and this. And then he goes, my appointment just canceled. This is a guy that's impossible to nail down. Yeah. He goes, do you want to go do a quick ultrasound? Like, he was so excited about it. And it's like one of those big, long, I don't know if you remember with your.
Oh yeah.
It's a weapon, right? It's made out of that glass from Game of Thrones.
Dragon glass.
Yeah, it's a dragon glass and it's long. And he goes, because you're so early on, I have to do a transvaginal, right? So he goes in.
Everything that they do to you guys in those rooms just makes you feel less and less like a man, so you know.
I felt pretty, but that's fine.
You did.
I did. For you.
Don't.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, I don't need to be here. Like, there's nothing I can even do. My part is done. If you're pregnant, my part's done until it's time for me to, other than be there for you and help you. You're carrying a fucking human.
Pay for parking.
Yeah. I got the car. I carrying everything.
It's like my husband was like, we were having a threesome and my husband was fully dressed and everyone else is, he's just standing in the corner watching.
That's what it is like.
He's just like standing like taking pictures, right? Because you want pictures.
Hey, I need a refill. Okay.
But this was just me. I just went on my own, right? So he does the transvaginal and he was like, right? Which is, those are not the sounds you want to hear.
And you're only, what, 5 weeks at this point? Something like that?
I was actually more. Okay. We did again, I was an idiot. I didn't know.
You shit on the first one, right?
I did.
Right.
Now I have 2 kids. I could deliver a baby now. I feel like I'm pretty versed in it. But you never want to hear those sounds. You always want to hear like, oh, there's the... And he goes, well, you're technically pregnant, but I don't really see anything.
What?
And I was like, okay.
The ghost baby.
Yeah. I was like, do you... And also, for being a fancy schmancy OBGYN, he had like this old staticky... Remember when you watched like porn when you were a kid? It was like,
looking for the nipple.
Yeah, it was all like scattered. And I was like, you guys can't
shots all over the walls.
Yeah. I was like, geez, this monitor is...
This is Heidi Klum's pussy.
So... hers is clear. You can see hers. And I was like, okay. He goes, maybe it's too soon. So I go, I'm not going with this doctor. I didn't feel comfortable. So I'm still on a hunt. I go to the next doctor. And now I'm just...
a world-renowned doctor.
I leave a world-renowned... This is the guy who has been elbow deep in every celebrity.
Yes.
Yeah. I leave him and he pissed me off because of his, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe he's not that good. So I go to like 3 more doctors.
Third world renowned.
Yeah. And they all give me this puzzled look. So now I'm worried.
But you did the right thing. You're supposed to go get multiple opinions.
Sure.
For anything for your health, especially something major like having a child. Definitely.
And I do all the blood tests, and there's something called HCG levels, right? Those are the hormone levels. They're rising, so I am pregnant. So there's a lot of misinformation. Every
test shows positive for pregnancy. Every ultrasound or whatever is showing
they're all
nothing
confused.
Conclusive.
Yeah. Man. And you should see a heartbeat by this time. I go to a fertility clinic because they have, it's like going to, I don't know, like a movie theater. Like their monitor was as big as the fucking room. Like it was enormous, right? Their screen was enormous. And she goes in and she goes, it's not, what's that?
What?
What? What happened? It's not a viable pregnancy.
What does that mean?
So like sometimes there's a blighted ovum, which means you're pregnant. It's the egg has been fertilized, but nothing's really growing inside. There was no pregnancy, so it wasn't viable.
Okay.
So she says, you should go. This is like the 4th doctor I've seen. So she says, you should go and you should get something called D&C, right? Which is basically an abortion, right?
Oh.
Okay. So they go and they scrape it out. Now I'm very crunchy granola. I know I dress like I'm closing escrow in,
like a fucking
in
Czechoslovakian hitman.
I know. But I just came from a meeting, but I am very like on the inside. I just don't know how to show it outwardly. I'm very crunchy. I'm very like holistic. I don't believe in, like we were talking off air, like pharmaceuticals. I'd rather take something like CBD oil,
Absolutely.
Right? So I have an acupuncturist. So I say, let me go talk to my acupuncturist. I don't want to go and get scraped and have what is basically a traumatizing abortion, right? So she talks to me. I've been going to her for years. She's the best. Shout out to Dr. Jing.
What's up,
the
Dr.
best.
Jing?
Actually, no. Cut that part out because I don't want any more people in the waiting room. She's an amazing doctor. She's a magician. She is a wizard. She comes in with a cap and a weird cape, but that's not the point. She's a wizard. So she says...
Can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
So are you thinking that she can perform something that will get rid of the baby instead of an abortion? Is that what your thought process
not
is?
like in a hocus pocus way.
No, but I mean,
yes.
So you're going to an alternative solution at least.
Right.
But do you even know, or are you just going to be like, what else can I do?
I went to go ask her what can be done. So all the doctors said, you can also wait for your body to spontaneously abort it, because your body it'll just start to miscarriage, right? You can wait, but you don't know how long that'll take. Sometimes a body doesn't do it until 10 weeks. So that's like another 3 weeks, maybe it could be more, longer, you don't know. And then maybe it's not fully they're trying to push you on the DNC, right? The vacuum it out. So I go to Dr. Jinx. I don't want that. And she says, I will give you a tea. It's nasty. It tastes like old man feet. I'll give you a tea. You have to drink it every day. You have to make it, with like hot boiling water, and it's disgusting. It's literally like you can see leaves floating in it. It's like twigs and grass. I'm not exaggerating in the least.
Just shit out of like somebody's bag catcher from their fucking summertime yard cut.
It is disgusting. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't smell good. Nothing about it is pleasant at all. But if you drink this, and I'll give you like 10 days worth, it will completely clean it out. It'll like get the baby out, and it'll also, strengthen and heal everything inside, your uterus, right? Everything will be healed. You'll be fine. You'll be great to go if you want to try again, like a month later. So I was like, all right? I waited though. I was like, oh my gosh, what if they're all wrong and I'm about to...
You waited to take the tea?
Yeah.
Okay.
What if they're all wrong and I'm about to kill a baby? So I waited. Now,
long?
I shouldn't have waited. I waited only a week. I don't know what I was waiting for. I don't know if I was waiting for like, fucking Horton Hears a Who, right? I'm in here. It's like, I hear something.
Oh, they're wrong. I heard knocking.
I don't know what I was waiting for. But I waited. I shouldn't have, because then all of a sudden my husband asked me, he goes, well, how long does it take? I go, she said it could take up to 2 weeks. It's a slow, more natural process. But I have to drink it for 10 days. And then it doesn't tell you how long. Your body could just like eliminate it, or it could take 2 weeks, maybe more. And he goes, well, don't you have like a really busy month coming up? And I was like, you're right. I can't cancel any of this that I have coming up. So here's what I had in the month of December in 2009. I had a gig in Hawaii, which was no big deal. Just like, Friday, Saturday. Okay, fine. I was coming back to do 2 really important shows in San Francisco at the Purple Onion. Mm-hmm. The original one before that. Yeah. And those were big because I was producing them myself, and it was all the Russians. They were all fucking coming in from everywhere in the city to come see me. It was already sold out. It was already sold out weeks before. And then I was shooting my Showtime half-hour special. Okay. So I didn't forget, but I was like, fuck, you're right. So I said, all right, I'm going to start tonight. And he and I ceremoniously put together this old man foot tea, which was just like bubbling, and it was disgusting.
It sounds disgusting.
It was so nasty. You have to open up, I'm not exaggerating, 50 packets of just all these Chinese herbs, and it stinks up the whole house. And I take it, and we're both kind of like, kind of sad and misty, because we're like, fuck, wait, I hope we're doing the right thing, but we are, obviously. So I take it. And it was literally December 1st. And I start taking it every day. I flew to Hawaii. I took it before gigs. You got to take it every single day.
Just
I come
once
back
a day?
Once a day, one of these nasty ass cups.
And how long does it take you to get through that cup?
An hour.
Just because you can't even power any of it down.
I cannot. Yeah. And you have to drink all of it. And I'm plugging my nose.
Torture.
And then I have to heat it up again, because when it's cold, it's even worse. Ooh, it's just terrible. So I do the gigs in Hawaii, right? I come back. I got to get ready, fly to San Francisco. My husband's coming with me because we're going to shoot it also. Okay, so he comes with me. Packed shows. I'm feeling a little anxious, and I start to basically bleed, right? Because you're going to bleed. But whatever, chicks bleed all the time, right?
Sure,
I might be bleeding right now, and I apologize. I'm not even on my period, but I just might come
You
out.
might just be bleeding.
If I
straight
sneeze
up.
too hard, I might just. I apologize in advance. So it's just one of the hazards. So I was like, I told my husband, I go, whew, I'm gonna get through these shows, but wow, this is gonna be tough. And
Are
8
you
o'clock show.
feeling anything outside the anxiety of the shows and the normal that goes into all that? Are you feeling physically anything at this point?
Some cramps.
Okay.
Some cramps. 8 o'clock show is packed, sold out. Oh my God. Everyone's drinking. Everyone's happy. Great show, right? They all leave. 10 o'clock show comes in and I'm holding on to the side of the like there's a table in the green room and my husband walks in. He goes, what's up? And I go, yeah, just doing okay. Maybe, can you go find me some Advil? And he goes, yeah, no problem. I go, yeah, let's take some Advil. He runs down the street to a CVS like a normal person.
Yeah.
And he gets me some Advil. And I throw back like 12, I don't know, something. I'm really starting to feel unstable.
Physically or mentally also? Are you still there mentally?
Mentally, I got the jokes. I know I know what I'm going to say, but I don't drink. I don't get high. I don't do anything. I'm a very square person. I'm very boring. So when I feel like the room is moving, I'm worried. Mm-hmm. So I held on to the mic stand and the stool, like both of them.
The whole time?
The whole second show. And everyone... My entire
Were you scared
childhood.
to fall, or was this the way to brace the pain,
I was
all of it?
Just gritting through it. It was starting to feel like the worst period ever, right? And I was breathing through it, and I made it through. And remember, everyone, like This Is Your Life has shown up to this show. So they all want to hang. They all want to throw back shots. They all want to say good show. And I'm not out of there until almost midnight. So my best friend was like, come stay at our house. This is my best friend. I've grew up with her, friends since junior high. And I could stay with my parents, but for some reason, I chose to stay with her, which is weird because I would always stay with my parents, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I didn't tell anybody I was going through this, by the way. Just Mike and I knew what was going on. And we get back to her place around midnight, go to sleep. 2 a.m, I jump out of bed. When I tell you, I think I cleared like 5 feet out of the bed.
What?
My body, it just sprung up. And like those YouTube videos where you see like people jump on an air mattress and the other person goes fly. That was me. And I just screamed this scream that I didn't even know my vocal cords could produce that kind of sound. And it was like it was like this guttural, like a fucking bear about to pounce on prey. I was like, like and Mike like flips out, and I go, and
I'd be reading for side effects on the side of that T real quick, like, oh man, what the fuck is going on?
He said that my face turned purple. And I was like, take me to the hospital.
Oh my God, I would fuck.
He was like, okay, hold on, yes.
Take me to the hospital.
I just screamed. I go, 911. I was like, 911. Like, I was just lost my shit.
Oh my God.
And of course, I woke up Adrian and her husband, right? And they come up, and I didn't tell her anything at the show, and she comes in. No, first I go, get Adrian. She'll know what to do. She's a lawyer. I don't know. They don't know what to do. She's smart. She's like the smartest person I know. So I was like, get Adrian. And she comes in and I'm crying and I hug her. I could cry just thinking about this moment because it was so, I just hugged her and I go, I'm having a miscarriage. And I just hug her and she hugged me like so hard. I thought she was going to squeeze the miscarriage out of me.
Group hug. Let's get it out here, y'all. Group hug.
She hugged me. Man, I will seriously start crying. And she's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. What happened? Tell me what happened. And I'm like, I'm having a miscarriage. And I didn't know what to do. So she's like, go to the bathroom. Just go to the bathroom. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't want to bleed on your bed. I'm so sorry. She's like, it's okay. Just go to the bathroom. And I'm on the toilet and I'm screaming. I've had 2 kids and I did not scream like I did while having real babies come out of me. 2 kids and I'm screaming. And Adrian comes back with some crazy ass pill bottle. And these pills were like as big as a fist. She's like, take this.
It's got like some weird combination line on it and shit.
Yes.
I got something.
They were like blue and purple and like some crazy shit. And it was like
some shit astronauts.
It really was. It was like a crazy language. Like, I was like, what are these? She's like, just take these. And she's like shoving them in my mouth. And I'm like, I don't take pills. She's like, just shut up. You're losing your mind. And I took them and it definitely helped. It helped the pain.
Do you know what it was?
I have no idea. It could have been what you give horses when they have a miscarriage. I don't know. It went away. The pain went away. So, got myself together. I got some rest. Not a lot. But my husband...
So you didn't go to the ER from there?
No, I did not. No. Because what are they going to do?
I don't know.
What? So when
I would have been there though.
You would have been there, but
yeah,
Mike's face was like,
I'll bet.
He was gray. It was like, he lost all color. He was just like gray, like he just was staring at me.
I'll be like, we're not having kids.
Right? Yeah. No, trust me. He was very scared for me.
Shook. Yeah.
And I told him, it's okay. We're gonna get through this. I have a few more, like another week or whatever of this tea. And he goes, how are you going to shoot your Showtime special? I go, I'm going to do it. Don't worry. He goes, I don't, how are you? You got to tell them. I go, no, we're not telling anybody. We're not telling anyone. We told Adrian. So now there's 3 of us that know.
And like 14 doctors.
And some neighbors down the street. Like,
yeah.
Is someone having a miscarriage?
Sounds like miscarriage 3 houses.
Is there a horse losing a baby? Did a horse drink old man green tea? Did a horse drink some Chinese tea? So my friend Anna went up to see my show in San Francisco and asked us for a ride back to LA. And I said, sure. Now,
this is the next morning.
This is the next morning. We were driving back down to LA. Craziest night. And
probably had no sleep.
No. And Anna, I also grew up with, but she's a Russian gypsy like I am. So we go to pick her up and she looks at me. She goes, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You could tell just by looking at me. I heard you up on Knob Hill.
Yeah, exactly. She looks at me. She goes, we've known each other since we were 8. And she
knew right
she
away.
is also a massage therapist. She goes, I need to put hands on you like right away. What is going on? So now 4 people know. So I took another one of those fist pills. I shoved it down. It was so huge you could see it going down my esophagus. It was like a cartoon. I'm not kidding. It was like gulp. It was enormous. But Adrian gave me all of them. I don't know what they were for. I still don't know to this day. I'm sure she lied to me. She's like, oh, it's a painkiller. Yeah. So I'm in the back seat of our car. Mike is driving from San Francisco to LA. Again, the pain starts again. Not as bad, but Anna, God bless her, massaged me for 6 hours. Oh. 6 hours. She was rubbing my back. I was laid out on top of her in the back seat of our car. She's rubbing my back. She's rubbing like certain points. She's like, this is your, uterus point or whatever. Like she knows where cramps and how to get rid. She's an amazing.
I feel a baby's kneecap here by your sacrum. Oh.
Let me just sit on you. Get this. Let me just hug this baby out of you. So she saved my life that day in the back of that car.
Wow.
I did not know. So all of this is the weekend.
So I have a question.
Yes, please.
So
all your questions.
You still have 10 days of this tea, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm going to take it because
another week."
Another week. So you're not sure if everything's out of you yet, or you just know I need to take this tea for 7 weeks.
Now looking back, nothing was out of me.
Come on.
It was just the beginning. This is just the beginning of this story. That's why I told you this is a long-ass story. So all of that is the weekend. On Monday, I called Dr. Jing, and I'm like, bitch, what did you give me?
I gave you the one with gluten. I'm sorry.
Oh, you have a peanut allergy? That almost killed you. Did your esophagus close?
Not bad.
Well, she goes, yeah, this is all normal. This is all normal. And I go, this is not normal.
Yeah, this doesn't sound normal.
I have been writhing in pain. And there's another option I forgot to mention that you can do. Sorry, this is gross to people, but this is just the reality. A lot of women have had miscarriages. No one talks about them.
A lot of women listen to this show.
Someone having them right now. A woman is having.
There's definitely a woman bleeding right now.
Having a miscarriage as she's listening to this, and it's more like a YouTube DIY tutorial. So you could also put pills up inside of you. You don't have to do the scraping D&C, but they will give you pills. But I heard that
shock your system, or
no, it's just a pill that dissolves inside your body and then just sheds it.
Got it.
But the reason I didn't do the pills was because the doctor said it's really, really painful. And so I didn't do the pills, but I did this crazy exorcism.
That's what I'm saying.
My
it's
uterus
like you drank
is
liquid devil
soup.
and it's fucking passing through you right now.
It's exactly it. I drank Satan's piss and I had the devil's semen inside of me, which is a great title for a scary movie. Anyway, so
I would go watch
Dr. Jing said it's normal and it's going to go on and it could go on for another 2 weeks. And I go, well, here's the thing. I'm shooting something for television that is a very big deal. So can we speed this up? Like, what if I drink 2 cups a day? Like, I need to get this out of me. And she goes, no, you just need to, you're on a journey now and just finish it through. And she's like, you'll be fine. I was like, well, I won't, but all right, I can't, like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah, you're in it now.
I'm
you're
in it now.
A week in now already?
No, just a few days.
A few days,
yeah,
okay.
A few days. So I think I have
a week left,
maybe-ish. Yeah, maybe a week left. So,
and how many days until the special shoots?
A week.
Fuck.
So I'm drinking this tea.
Plus, I would just feel like even if you get over it in a few days or it passes or whatever you want to say here, it runs its course. You're going to be exhausted to go shoot a fucking special.
Well,
and are you also trying to run that special throughout the week to be ready for it?
Yes. So I have all these half-hour spots lined up. One of them I had to cancel because I was driving down to it and I had to pull over on the side of the freeway. And I pulled over and I got out. I was scared to open the door on the driver's side. I didn't even wait for an off-ramp. I just pulled over and I went into the passenger seat and I just curled up. And then I don't know why I did this. I was not in the right mind.
Cop came up. Miscarriage? All right, we'll give you another 20 minutes.
All right, we'll give you a warning. Use a condom next time.
Yeah, right.
So I called this guy, Lee, who had booked the show, and I go, hey, I have a cold.
A cold?
My vagina has a cold.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry. I'm driving on the way down. I'm really sick. I'm so sorry to miss the show. He's like, oh, it's fine. Feel better. But I couldn't straighten my body out to drive, like to use pedals. Oh. I was so curled up. I was so curled up on the side of the freeway. I opened the door. I couldn't even I couldn't be contained in the car anymore. I opened the door and I just rolled out of the car onto the side.
You're
passenger
laying
side,
on the
curled up on the side.
The 405?
No, I was going down to Orange County. So I was trying to be slick and take the 605 down to avoid traffic, right? So I was off the 605.
That's a major freeway. Just so people know out there.
Every freeway.
It's a major freeway.
Every freeway is a major freeway. That's why they named it Freeway.
It is major.
Major. No.
Majorly trafficked.
I got a lot of trucks. Like a lot of trucks.
Just a tip right there.
I By the way, I have another Freeway story after this if you want to hear it. So so many Freeway stories. That's the name of my next podcast series is Freeway Stories. And I'm just curled up and I really wish that I was just shooting a story of my life in that moment because my phone was just over there. Like I wanted to call my husband. I could see it, like the door was open and I was on the ground on the side of the freeway and I see my phone still plugged into
Siri days.
It's plugged in and I'm just like, like I wish I could, zink, like I wish it was Thor, you know what I mean? Like just Thor's hammer or some shit. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I was like, well, now this is for sure ER. Like this warrants ER for sure.
I love that it takes you to go to the fucking shoulder of the freeway to finally be like,
okay, you are a parent. Mm-hmm. There's only so much they can do at the ER. Yeah. You know, my mom and a lot of older people have a tendency to call the ER when they're scared, like my blood pressure, and they call the ER. It's like, no. There was a guy in the ER when I went with my mom once because she was scared about her blood pressure with a knife in his face. That's who the ER is for.
We're going to go ahead and take her. She has chest pain.
Yeah, she's getting anxious. Okay. She has anxiety. Yeah. I go, Mom, this is who the ER is for. There's just a guy like a fucking knife in his face.
But the thing about the ER is that you have the potential to be admitted into the hospital beyond the ER.
What are they going to do? Here's a pad.
Well, I don't know what's going on inside you.
Well,
but
hell.
I would get...
It's fucking Mordor. Mordor is going on. Someone dropped a ring into my uterus and it's just bubbling over.
They would want to see with their digital machines and things if maybe there was something.
Yes.
You know.
I just don't like needlessly. I'd rather be on the side of the freeway waiting for some shit to happen than just sit there. I don't know.
AAA is pulling up for that.
Is this covered?
I mean, you could hook it to the tow hitch.
Oh my God. So I finally, whatever it is, now I learned it's contractions. Your body is having contractions.
Wait, so you did go to the ER? You still didn't?
No. I went home.
You scraped yourself off the shoulder of the road and you were able to get in the car and drive?
I went home. Yes.
Are you running the set in the car the whole time?
And I'm like, okay, here's my closer. Not telling anyone.
All right, it's going to be 25 minutes to get home. I can get through half my set.
Again, only 4 people know. So not telling anyone. I don't want to risk my Showtime special getting yanked. I don't want to sound, by the way, it's already hard enough for chicks. I'm not trying to sound like lady comics have it tough, but we do. And this was 2009. It's changed a lot in the last decade. But 2009, I'm not going to give them another like chicks and their periods, another reason to, judge me or say no to me or be like, see, this is why they got to just stay home.
I know what? I totally. First of all, it is hard enough to even get that far.
Yes.
Yeah, and then to be a woman doing it, going through all this and hiding it.
Right. Yeah. So
here's something else.
I just stayed on course. Just stayed on course. Kept drinking the tea. Kept doing sets. And the night before my Showtime special, pause for a dramatic effect, I delivered it.
No.
Yes.
The night before?
Yeah.
What happened? Are you comfortable talking about it?
Can you imagine if that was where I drew the line?
Nah, right.
How dare you?
Fuck you, right.
This is personal. Are you a doctor?
Was the pain, because let me ask a couple of questions then. Was the pain different? Did you know this was the end? Could you feel it coming, or were you just same thing every time? And
the pain was so excruciating every single day.
Just all day long?
All day long.
Not just immediately after the tea. It's all day at this point.
It's all day. It's contractions. So I didn't know this at the time. Contractions are basically your body trying to push a baby out, right? Contractions are pretty hectic and aggressive and frightening and scary and painful. But when you're pushing a baby out, there's a happiness that's underlining all of it. Like, but after all this craziness, I'm going to have a baby, right? Now I know this. At the time, I had no idea. I never even had difficult periods, so I never even had cramps, really. This was all new to me. And I'm at home, thankfully, and I was like, here it comes. Like I knew something big was happening. And I
can't even believe this is the night before your show.
I literally like had to approve a couple last minute things with the Showtime people. And I'm talking to them and they're like, so why aren't
red curtains? No, I'm going to change red curtains. Let's go with a different color.
Yes, that is exactly the conversation. Because we had these cool backgrounds that we helped design, right? Mm-hmm. So they were like, we want to just show you because these are the 2 options for tomorrow. Because they had a lot of specials they were shooting, right? So I'm on the phone, have my laptop open on speaker, and I was like, it looks. And I muted them for a second. I just went, ah! And then I unmuted. Great. And my husband is like this. He's just, he just, look, very supportive. He has never, not once in my entire relationship with him, ever like questioned a gig, like a fucking bowling alley. Like he's never,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this?
Even though we question
them. He's always been like, yes, go, do it. Mm-hmm. You're funny. You're so talented. Like he's always been such a supporter.
That's great.
That he was not questioning it, but like, you can't double over in pain. Yeah. You just can't. You can't. And by the way, you know how they shoot these things. Europe, then this comic, then this comic. The audience is like staying for, like boom, boom, boom. So, I go, don't worry. I said, I've gone on, this is what I said to him. I go, I've gone on stage with really bad colds. Haven't you done a set where you couldn't cancel? You're like a fever. Yeah, like you just you do it. You do it. As a comic, we just plug in, turn on that instant, like, what's it called when a plane flies itself? Remote control.
Autopilot.
Okay.
Remote control works though, yeah. Remote control.
There's someone with a little autopilot. So anyway, so back to I get myself to a toilet. It's definitely your best friend when you're having a miscarriage. And this feels different. Horrific, excruciating pain. Blood like fucking a Dexter scene. Like just
you write your set on the wall.
Oh my God. I had to put tarp up everywhere. Just tarp. Just is all just. Oh my God. It's horrific.
Oh my God.
And I feel it. So is this too gross for you guys? I put toilet paper toilet paper, right?
Butcher paper.
I put some butcher paper.
You took some from the doctors. That's how you get them back.
And I pull this thing out. I mean, if you would have told me that like a props person made this because this is what they think an egg sac looks like, I would have been like, you guys are fucking lame. You better Google image egg sac,
Yeah.
Like there's no way this is what it looks like. Holy shit. Alien and fucking alien. Now there's no like baby.
Yeah.
It's the egg sac, but it looks like a comet.
Like with a tail.
It had a tail. Oh God.
Haley. We call it Haley. Did we name it?
Called the baby Haley. Oh my God.
I fucking love you.
It is horrific. Now, I call my...
Wait, I gotta say this.
Yes, please.
I'm still tripping out. There's so many fucking layers to this, obviously.
Tell me what you want to talk about.
I can't believe that this tea did it. This tea fucking worked.
Yeah.
You went for
Don't ever doubt Dr. Jing. How dare you?
And that shit...
The Jingmeister?
It fucking really did it.
She's a fucking wizard.
And it did it as she said it was going to do it, and the time frame she said, all of that.
There's more.
Oh, Jesus. It was triplets.
Let's cut to commercial. Be right back. It was triplets? That'd be hilarious.
Could you imagine if we had cut to a Trojan commercial?
So,
that would be appropriate.
Yes. So I call my doctor, and they're like, can you keep it? We want to take a look at it.
Oh, my God. What are you putting it in?
I'm not keeping it.
I think we have some more. Get the Tupperware out.
Get my miscarriage glad bag.
Get my miscarriage out of the fridge, bro.
We got freezer storage bag. Make sure it's yellow and blue.
Somebody get my miscarriage out of the freezer. God damn, I gotta get there.
Where did I put my miscarriage kit? I ordered it on Amazon. God damn it, Amazon Prime. And believe me, I read all the reviews and I got the miscarriage kit with the best reviews. Do not chintz out.
Oh God.
So no. I gave it a burial in the toilet. I flushed it.
You did flush it?
Yes. The doctor was like, literally, like the nerdiest, geekiest thing they could have ever said to me. No, we want to cut it open so we can see why. Yeah, they like to like dissect it. They were pissed. Yeah, they were pissed. They were pissed. And I was like, well, go get your own miscarriage.
That's the fucking truth right there. After everything you just went through, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, how much you paying?
I made a bird feeder out of that motherfucker,
okay? I'm not going to bring it with me in the car.
That is disgusting.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Now, I have traveled with frozen poop in the car, but that's a different story.
Oh my God.
So here I am thinking it's done. Right? Lickety split.
Out just in time
Tomorrow,
for your biggest special of your life.
Yeah. Boy, was I wrong. So I get to the theater for my call time. And
now, can I ask you?
Yes, please.
Have the contractions at least stopped or slowed to a point where you do think, okay, this is done, or are you still in pain?
You're such a sweetheart. No.
You're still in pain.
No. They have not stopped. They have not stopped. I'm doubled over in my car. Doubled over. I park, and I had, my usual stuff that I bring, right? Like 3 or 4 choices of wardrobe for my special, right? I have my thing. I have like a little makeup bag. I know they have makeup there, but just whatever. And I drop it right before I get to the theater. There's a back door, right? I drop it and I'm like kneeling down, and it looks like I'm Muslim. Like I'm...
You praying to Mecca right now.
Like, did I just hear the la? Right? So I'm like, okay. And the production assistant, because I told them I was on my way, comes out to meet me, and she's like, oh, did you? I go, I'm tying my shoe. I was wearing boots.
Boots.
I was wearing boots, right? She's like, oh, okay. And I just pick myself up, and I was like, I was so determined, and I'm shoveling, again, just Advil. I don't know what else to take.
You're out of those dragon pills or whatever.
Oh my God, whatever that thing was. Yeah. No, I might have taken one now that I think about it. Oh, I might have been out of it. Yeah. Yeah, I was out of them. I'm taking Advil, and they're helping a little bit. It's like 20%. But not that 80% that's just bah. Yeah. And so my husband comes backstage, and he's just like looking at me. He is staring at me without blinking. He's just like, he's like in like a defensive stance in case he needs to like jump into action. And I'm like, I'm fine, don't worry. I go into the bathroom, and he hears me just banging on the wall. Oh my God. I'm just like, I'm fine. Like, I'm just, right? So,
and I wanted to ask you this,
please.
I'm thinking about this. Do you ever is there ever vomiting involved in this process at
Very
all?
close. But I never vomited at all during my pregnancies. Okay. Although I did vomit during the first delivery. But they give me
this
some.
tea's not making your body
but you're nauseous.
Every which way.
You're nauseous. It's all like right there, just sitting right there, right? And which
is way worse than just getting it out.
You just want to get it out. Yeah. So, Mike is like, okay, you're the pro. And I'm going over my set list with him, because my brain is so focused on like the pain, I have to switch it and get it, I got to get into comedy brain. So I put on sorry guys if this grosses you out, but I put on the biggest fucking pad I could find. I think I taped 2 together because I don't want any. I did. I put like 2 together.
Taped
it was
them.
like coming up to here, like you could see the little. It was like coming up my back, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And I'm very physical on stage, so I like duct taped it in there. I like engineered this underwear to like no accident, like, cause just blood is just gushing.
That's unbelievable.
Gushing. And it has been this whole time. It does not stop. It's like, when someone like knocks over a fire hydrant, like a truck will back into it. It's just over here and over here, and it gets like on your face. You know what I mean? It's just everywhere. It's just coming out. It's they're really miracles, babies.
So worth it, aren't they? I hope your kids listen to this.
Oh God, I haven't even told my parents this story. Yeah. So
my God.
So they come to mic me up.
You haven't stepped on stage.
I haven't been on stage yet. No. And they come and they mic me up, and the comic that's on stage is wrapping up, and they say they change the background, and they introduce me, and I run out, and felt nothing.
Really?
0. I just told myself, I've worked too hard for this to get fucked up. And I did my literally like 28 minutes or whatever, because it's not really half an hour, right? 27-minute set. And thank God I did well. And I came off stage and I collapsed.
You did?
I did. Yeah. I found a corner to do it in so no one saw me because there's produced,
You didn't wait for the freeway to ride home?
I was like, let me get to that 605. That's my safe place. No, I collapsed.
Holy shit.
And then I again, just, zipped myself back together, went to the bathroom, took care of myself. There was an after party, of course. And I just held it together. And I
just had an afterbirth. I don't think I'm going to be at the after party, y'all.
I mean, I don't know if I'm
Get my abortion tea. We're going to hit that after party and spike it up a little bit.
Oh my God. I don't know if there have been any other comics, female comics, obviously, having a miscarriage during their television special, but maybe there have. I don't know. But I know that after that moment, I knew, oh, fuck, I can do anything. I seriously can do anything.
Yeah, you can. You're strong. Women are just listening to this story, I'm just running through things in my head where I'm like, God, you're such a pussy.
Maybe you had that paper cut and you canceled your improv spot.
Yeah, could you imagine getting there and be like, Tom Segura's not going to be here tonight. He stubbed his toe. You're like, I'm having a miscarriage.
Yeah, he better get his ass over here. Then the next day.
Jesus Christ. Okay, wait. Before we get to the next day, are we done with the tea yet, or is there still more tea to be had?
I think I'm done. I'm done with the tea, but Dr. Jing did say even after the tea, it's your body's still going to kind of keep pushing everything out. So like she said, it could take up to 2 weeks, and boy, did it take 2 weeks, like on the nose. I booked a pilot for, it's now kind of a defunct network, but at the time it was still kind of something, Oxygen. Mm-hmm. And I was hosting this show. I booked a pilot for a lot of money. And no, I'm sorry. Was it a pilot or did we shoot episodes? Oh my God, now I can't remember. I think we shot.
What was the show?
Oh my God, this is embarrassing. I can't remember the name. Maybe it was just a pilot then.
Okay.
I'll have to text Jude, the director. But I had to shoot a couple days later. They were like, you booked it. We're shooting whatever, Tuesday, right? I was like, okay. And then in that moment, I realized I got to go find someone who likes drugs.
Yeah.
And go get some drugs. So then I got
Kira is now on the hunt for some
because I knew I couldn't do that again.
Way.
That was too much. Yeah. And this is not just half an hour of being on. This was like you're shooting 12-hour days.
I was about to say you're going to be there 12 hours.
So I got
3 minutes of shit on camera.
Yeah.
That they'll be like, you know what, we're going to redo all that.
Yeah, probably. They never. I don't think it's sold. I can't remember now. But what's the one that people get addicted to? The painkiller.
Oxy.
No, is there another one? Oh, is there another
Vicodin.
one? Vicodin.
They get addicted to all those.
Vicodin.
Heroin.
So someone gave me Vicodin.
Okay.
Someone was like, "Oh, I got you. Don't worry." Because I don't have time to go see a doctor and explain that I drank this old man foot tea with branches in it. Like they're going to ask me, So I knew I had to just find someone that likes to pop some pills. So I found this, I'm not going to name her, but very nice female comic.
Angel.
So yeah. And I just popped a bunch of Vicodin. The thing is, the Vicodin, I had a bad reaction to the Vicodin.
That's me.
I don't ever take
those.
So the pain in here went away, but then everything else.
Yep.
And
nauseous,
I was awful.
itchy.
I was shaking. I was sweating.
Shaking, throwing up.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck this. Let me get another miscarriage up inside of me. I'd rather have a miscarriage right now than this bullshit.
Get my abortion tea. God damn, how many times I got
to put this in a Ziploc. I was like, fuck. So I shot this pilot. Is my phone? Oh no, my phone's right here. Okay. Now I'm driving myself crazy with the title of this pilot. But, and so finally, at the end of this pilot, we shot over like 3 days. I was finally done. And now we're into like almost the middle of December.
Jesus.
And I was finally done. I went to go see an OBGYN. They checked and they go, everything's gone. It's cleaned out. Your uterus, it looks really healthy in there. I shed enough blood for like 20 years of uterus lining. So it was all done. It was all done. 3 months later, I got pregnant.
3 months?
Yeah.
You didn't wait long.
Nope.
Did you go back to trying? How quickly did you go back to trying?
So Dr. Jing, January, so that was all December. In January, she said, you can start trying in February.
Wow.
So so February to March. March, I found out I was pregnant.
You must have really wanted kids to go through all of that.
I really wanted just another miscarriage because I was like, this is gonna make a good story one day.
Wow, that is a great story. And then you get pregnant in March. 3 months after that whole thing.
And then I have my son exactly a year later, December 2010.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
Good for you. That's a hell of a story. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's that one. It only took an hour. I didn't know how long it would take. I told you.
God. It took as long as that goddamn abortion.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got to find the name of this pilot.
Man, Kira.
Yeah. So, anything else?
Anything else? Jesus Christ. I'm still waiting for it. And then that thing had so many goddamn and thens, and it just kept getting worse for you. That's a good ending, though. Thank God.
Okay. Oh, God, what's the name of the
And then while
pilot?
you're looking for this, did you have a pretty trouble-free pregnancy both times? Did any of this shit cause any issues or problems?
Well, that's why I didn't tell anybody about the miscarriage, because once you have a miscarriage, people are like, oh no, you're pregnant again. I didn't want any negative vibes. I didn't want anyone like, oh, what if it happens again? I didn't want that in my mind. So I didn't tell anybody. I still haven't told my parents. I know they're big fans of you, so. They're gonna hear this.
They're definitely gonna hear this. They subscribe. They actually, I don't even have a donation, but somehow they make donations to the show every week. I don't know how they do that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. Yeah. Won't send me any money.
Well, we've joked about them a little bit, Kim. Yeah. But can we talk about? So your parents are born where originally? Russia.
Well, technically, my mom was. She's considered a Holocaust survivor because she was in the Ukraine. She was born in 1942, but they had to flee because of who my 8-year-old calls Hilter. So
I
cute.
love it. You think that's Your mom survives the Holocaust, and you're fucking.
My kid loves World War II.
Oh,
He's obsessed.
God.
So he's like, so this Hilter guy. I go, yes, Hilter. And I've corrected him a couple times, but now I'm like, let him just call him Hilter. It makes him seem sweet.
Yeah, it's a little.
So she's considered a Holocaust survivor because she was technically born. Can I tell you this story?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be like a baby episode. My mom, this is such a good one. Are we good on time?
Yeah.
Okay. So my grandmother, right? My mom's mom had a son, my uncle, right? Already. It's World War II. My grandfather is in the army. So he's like a higher up officer dude. So he's like sent out.
In the Ukraine? Where?
Well, Russian
okay.
army. Like, communist army. So all of this bullshit nonsense is going on in World War II, right? All the Jews are being evacuated. He goes out to the front lines, and my grandmother gets a visit from one of the officials in the town. They gather up all the women, all the Jews, and they go, all right, guys, pack your bags. Let's go. We're all getting out of here. By the way, if anyone's pregnant, we're taking you right now to get an abortion. So get in this van. And all these women got in the van. And my grandmother was pregnant with my mom. So she gets in the van, and she doesn't want to have an abortion, but that was their birth control back then. Every woman in the Soviet Union has probably had at least one, probably 3 abortions.
One, you jumped to 3.
That's what they use for birth control. So my grandmother gets in line, and they're all like, if you can imagine.
Tea's not that far.
Right? It's not far
That's an
at
overnight
all.
shipment.
They're like, we can get some of those twigs over here. She gets in line, and it's literally what you would think. Like, they're all wearing like just a gray gown. Everyone, it's like a Russian hospital, communist, right? And they're like, next. And they just perform it right there in the same room as everybody else.
What?
There's a nurse shift. So, Olga leaves, Natasha comes, right? And this nurse shift comes and looks at my grandmother and goes, okay, so you just had your abortion, right? You're done? My grandmother goes, yep, I'm done. And she leaves.
Nice. Okay.
So she goes back home. She's like, well, now I gotta fucking hide this pregnancy. You're not allowed to have babies during wartime. That's why 1942, there were not a lot of kids born in that year, or 41, or
They're all born when everybody got back from the war.
Everybody got back.
Yeah.
So they get evacuated. My grandmother grabs my uncle. She has my mom inside of her. My grandfather says, I'll meet you in Kyrgyzstan. Right, so they get on a train, they leave to Kyrgyzstan. That's where they hide a bunch of Jews in this basement of a building. So there were like a lot of families, like, 4 or 5 families, right? But that's like 5 people each. That's a lot of people. And they all had to live in this basement. So now my grandmother's getting bigger. She's showing. And people are like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And she goes, I didn't, right? Like, she's like, I don't know what happened.
They gave it to me.
So she starts going into labor. My grandfather's still not there. He's fighting the war, right? Starts going into labor. They're like, well, bitch, we don't have a fucking taxi. There's no, how are we going to get you? We don't even know where there is a hospital. We live in a basement.
Right, we're hidden.
Yeah, we're hidden.
Yeah.
One guy says, I have a camel.
What? Nah, I have a camel.
He has a camel.
Where's the fucking camel park?
Outside.
That's not a dead giveaway, a fucking camel.
They are in Kyrgyzstan.
And so that's popular, like horses tie up.
Yeah, in the
like
40s.
A whole bunch of camels
Yes.
outside. I didn't know that.
Yes. So he puts my grandmother.
Come on. In labor.
In labor.
On a camel.
On a camel.
2 hump. People like, you're making fun of that.
That's a great question. That's a great
I want to
question.
know how many humps that camel
All right,
had.
let me call my mom real quick.
Call her. So this man.
So,
Yes.
so they take her and they find a hospital. I hope she answers, or else it's not going to be good podcasting. They take her to, then I won't put the ringer on, to the nearest hospital on this camel.
But now they're out, exposed, possibly can be seen.
Which doesn't have like a neon sign that says Jew, but
still.
yes. Yeah, it was dangerous. Mom?
Is it?
Oh, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, this is such a random question. Okay, you know how Babushka was on a camel when she was going into labor with you?
Well, they teased me with that.
You said that she took a camel, Mom.
No, well, they told me that she had to go to the hospital, but she had to go on a camel.
Okay, so what kind of do you know what kind of camel it was?
I've never seen all this camel.
All right, well, I'm going to look up camels in Kyrgyzstan and see what kind they have, like one hump or two.
Kirочка, you asking the wrong question.
Okay, I'll look it up. Okay, Mom, I'll call you later. Целую.
Sorry, где ты, Kira?
I'm with my friend.
Okay.
Okay.
We're having tea.
Yeah. Okay, Mom. Целую. I'll call you later, Mom, okay?
Okay, so
Okay, bye. Now she's going to be like, you tell people I was born on a camel?
God,
she's going to be pissed now.
And mad, like you're giving out all the family
Yeah, did you
secrets.
hear at first? She was like, well, they teased me about being born on a camel. Yeah, but you told me. No, that's my uncle said it happened. He was older. So, anyways.
So they take her to the hospital.
In a camel. We're going to look up.
In one. They're hiding them. They're hiding them
On
anywhere
a
they can.
camel. Anyway, so my mom is delivered in this hospital, right? They take her home.
Home to the basement where they're fucking hiding.
Yeah, this time in a kangaroo.
That pouch is the warmest thing I've ever been in my life.
And she has to hide my mom.
And a baby's doing nothing but making
Nothing
noise.
but crying.
Sure.
Nothing but crying. My grandfather comes and meets them there, finally. He finds them. God. And he comes in the middle of the night, and there's a baby crying. And he's like, someone brought a goddamn baby.
They didn't drink the tea.
How come there's a baby? Whose fucking baby is that?
Yeah,
He's pissed because he knows the rules.
Right.
And my grandmother goes, well, it's yours. And he's like, what? I gave you one job. Go get an abortion and then shoot a Showtime special.
Live from Bunker 6.
Yeah. So my mom lived in that basement for 2 years until the war was over.
That was your mom's first 2 years of life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Crazy
then
story.
the war, that is a crazy story.
Yeah.
And then the war ends, and then what?
They go back to the Ukraine.
Okay,
And
back
that's where she was raised. Ukraine, that's where I was born. My dad is from Chisinau, which is Moldavia, which is pretty close, right next door. They they do share a border, I'm pretty sure. But when I went from the Ukraine with my dad, we drove from Odessa to Chisinau in Moldavia. There was this made up country that they just made. They made it.
Come on.
They made it. There's, like a parking arm.
Yeah.
Like, like the okay, like you go into a parking garage. They had one of those, let's say here at this wall, and another one at that wall.
And this space was a country?
A country. They made it. They made it. They made it up. And so we get there, and as we're driving, this was like in 2003, 2002, and they want to check. They're like, because they're bored, right? And this is why they made this country, so they can have like a check, right? They took apart the car. We were riding with some friends from Russia. And one guy was traveling with a taser. I don't know why, but they were like, what's this for? And they had our passports and they were like so excited because American passports, like that's exciting, right? Usually they don't see that. So they took us into this room. They start talking about us in Russian, but we speak Russian. And they're like, no, they're like, we're going to detain the Americans. And the other guy was like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's cool. Right. And this other guy's like, yeah. And then 9/11 had just happened. So it was like September, right? 9/11. And we were there like just not even a year later. We were there in May. And so they were like, oh, we got to talk to them about their planes that are falling out of the sky. Like they were making fun of, 9/11 and it's just awful. And your engineers thought that was giggle worthy. And you know, we're like, my dad and I look at each other, and then we say to them in Russian, we speak Russian. And they were like, they were like, you know, like shuffling papers, like, okay.
Get the tea.
Yeah.
Get the tea.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. You speak
And then
Russian.
they let you out of there?
Yeah, it took us a couple hours, but yeah. Anyways, made up country. So yeah,
Holy
Kishinev.
Shit.
So that's my family. My mom's going pissed at me now.
Is she?
Yeah. Where are you?
Yeah, be super suspicious. What was like as a kid growing up in that? What
Yeah.
was it like? You say you got this one listed on here too.
Which one?
Discipline.
I like how you called it discipline.
I mean, I call it discipline because I can't imagine like now that you're especially a parent, but coming what they came from, any bullshit that we think is like, well, I want to go swimming or some bull, you know, you little motherfucker.
Look, I don't want to. Here's the thing, I was beaten severely as a kid. Severely. Yeah, not
By
like
parents?
a wallop. Mostly my mom. Now you see why I'm so scared of her. You know, but I'm angry with my dad too, because there was one specific beating that I'll forever remember. I mean, there are a bunch that stand out. You know, they're all memorable.
I have one too,
yeah. There's one specific one. When I was a kid, I had a lot of what I would call adult thoughts. Not like porn adult, like, you know, like more like, I know I'm only 7, but I feel like I should pay quarterly taxes. You know, like those kind of like moments.
Investing in a Roth IRA.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to diversify my portfolio. But just like these thoughts that I knew at the time, I'm too young to have these types of really deep, esoteric thoughts. And I played piano when I was a kid. I did not like it, but I continued to do it. But I didn't practice. I didn't take it seriously. And I don't know if I ever asked my parents, like, can I just stop? Or if they were like, no, you're going to keep doing. Because a lot of parents, they think like, don't let your kids quit stuff. Because then they'll just always think, well, I can just quit, which I get that as well.
It's also okay to quit some shit.
It's also okay.
Yeah, it is okay to quit.
But here's the thing.
Doesn't
when you're
make you a quitter to quit some shit.
It doesn't. You know, I quit that baby.
Quit everything.
I quit that baby, you know.
That baby quit you too.
Yeah,
though.
she quit me. I don't know. But I wasn't practicing this one night, and I don't know what I was doing. I pissed my mom off. Maybe she had a bad day. I don't know. She lived in a basement for the first 2 years of her life. I don't know. But I was sitting at the piano. I just remember going like, clonk, clang, clonk, right? I was not into it. She grabbed me by my kidney. Like she reached into me. You know that dude that cures people of cancer by just digging his nails and taking out their gallbladder? Like that's what it felt like. She grabbed me from this piano bench in our living room. We had a hallway. She dragged me. My feet didn't touch the ground. And she threw me in my room and just went off. Like just lost her shit on me. Lost it. And I remember thinking like, fuck it, this chick wants to kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember just looking up at her in her face, and she was so angry, and she was like sweating, and she was just like everything, hair, pulling it, smacking, like she just did all of it. Like I had mugged her, and she just tried out all her self-defense stuff that she learned. No, not today. You know, like just she tried all her stuff. So I looked up during this horrific beating, and I was like, I bet this isn't about me. That's the adult thought.
Imagine saying that out loud though while she's killing you.
Oh my God, no! But in my mind, I was
Is this
like,
about the bunker? It's just because you had to keep me quiet for 2 years.
was it because it was 2 hump camel and not 1?
It's the only newborn in the whole bunker.
So I remember having that thought. And in that moment, I was like, okay, like this is about her. And this is her problem.
There's adults that don't reach that level.
Right?
Thought.
I don't know why. But I mean, I was still obviously a kid with, kid limitations. So I still obviously thought I'm a bad kid, I'm a bad person. But honestly, what hurt more than her beating was my door was cracked open and my dad and grandmother were both watching.
They just watched?
They watched. And I've asked my dad as an adult, why didn't you do anything? And he was like,
I had $20 on your mom.
So, yeah, that hurt more.
Yeah. What did he say?
He was like, I couldn't.
He was like, I ain't stepping in the middle of that.
He
wasn't getting in the middle of that fucking tornado.
He's like, and then my grandmother watched. And it was like, just the door was open just enough for their faces. I'll never forget. Yeah. And she's smaller than him and he's right there. And and they just watched. And I was like, fucking do something.
They didn't do shit.
They didn't do anything.
You just hear the door quietly go close. Like you're on your own, chick. We're going to rest for 5 minutes.
I guess you should have practiced that piano. Yeah. Now, I played piano for 8 more years after that. From 8 until 16. Still hated it. Resented it.
Never hit those fucking chords again, though. No shit. That's your mom's least favorite song.
I would never, ever do that to my kids.
No.
But I'm a different person. It's a different time. We have evolved as a society, I hope. I know that there are still kids that get hit like that. But now, don't think it's not inside of me. I think it's like having the alcoholic gene.
I've said this on this podcast before. There's a book I'm reading that it talks about this generation of kids and why we all think they're punks and this and that, but it is because they are. Because we're not allowed to do anymore what our parents did to us as kids. Like social services will be called on you.
Oh no, 100%.
You can't let your kid walk a mile to school anymore.
No,
you can't do that. I mean,
No,
certain places, I'm sure it happens.
Yeah, if you're in rural, whatever.
The way that we view our parents' mistakes, we are trying to correct those. So it makes sense that a lot more kids pop off and get attitude these days because they know they're not going to get beat like your mom beat you or like I only got hit one time. That's all it fucking took.
Oh, really?
I didn't fuck that up again. Yeah. I've talked about it before, but I have a twin brother and I don't know what we did. I don't remember what we did. We were probably 6, 7.
Wow.
And my mom told my dad something. He wasn't even there. He had come home from work. He's just listening to what she said. She probably made it up, to be honest with you. And we got the belt. And I got it next to him. He went first. So I'm watching him.
Was he born first? Is that why?
Yep.
Oh,
and I'm watching him get beat. And I'm like, I'm about to get this, and I'm already crying because I know what's coming next. And he's
it's horrific.
and it's just terrible. And then I got it. And then after that, though, my dad felt so bad. He never, ever did that again. But he was a master. He grabbed that flesh skin on your tricep and just fucking cranked that shit. And I'd rather take a belt than that.
Really?
Oh, God, that shit hurts so fucking bad if you get it right.
I mean, I can't do any of that.
You can't.
I feel
but I
like
wouldn't either,
No.
And so I have a daughter. I'm never putting hands on my daughter.
No. Because then she'll think it's okay for...
Exactly. I'm the first man she's ever going to love in life. And if I set the example that it's okay for me to hit her, then I don't know how that's going to carry across psychologically, but I would hope it,
What do you do when you get angry?
I just get stern in my voice and, my way, and she gets it. She fucking gets it. There's times where I just look at her, I go, that's it. And she'll go to her room and just go put herself on like a timeout. Yeah.
Wow.
She'll go, don't use your dad voice. But that's as far as I go, I don't really yell. I haven't had to at least yet. She's not a teenager, so I'm sure that shit's coming, but
I've yelled.
Have you?
Yeah.
I have not lost my shit
and
at all.
I've lost my shit many times.
You don't smoke weed. Kira.
That's probably
Take one of those horse pills.
Let me get one of those big fist pills.
Calm your ass down.
I do a bit about it on stage where I'm like constantly pushing down the inner Soviet inside of me. Rich Scheidner, who's a great comic, was a guest on my podcast, and he said, I was always worried because he was hit severely as a kid too. If I ever hit my kids, I wouldn't be able to stop. And that scared me enough.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like if I ever do hit them, I won't be able to stop myself because it'll all just come out.
Start the Nero stomping them and shit.
Oh, God. Okay, maybe not that. It's awful. See, I can't even picture. I can't even do it. Now, my mother hit my brother until he was 16.
Really?
Yes. He came home late for
That's
curfew.
about the age where he got big enough and she was like, I'm probably not going to
He was much big. No, my mom's this big. My mom wouldn't clear this table. He was, she'd jump and smack him. She'd get a running start.
Tyson's punch out.
She'd be like, she has her own sneaker.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I couldn't do it, but yeah.
Well, I can't say thank you enough for coming on.
You
here.
could.
I
will.
Try. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For real. First of all, that's a hell of a story. And not only to share, but to go through, to live through. And thank you for being so open and honest about it. I love you. You're a goddamn soldier, girl.
Thank you.
You are fucking strong.
All these chicks,
you ladies are, though. Are.
Yeah. See, these women having, specials and they're pregnant. Try doing it with a miscarriage. That's the new trend that's going to happen. Hey guys, watch Ryan's next special where he has a kidney stone. He's going to pass it during his next HBO special.
I can promise you, I would cancel. I would cancel the shit out of that.
And that's how you promote it. No, think about it. Branding.
Yeah, branding. On the ground, I'd lay down and just do it curled up. Thank you so much, really, for being here. Will you one more time, please, plug your website, anything you like, social media?
Go follow me on the social media. I'm at Kira Comedy for Instagram, for Twitter. Just Kira Soltanovich. I think you can find me on Facebook if that's your jam. And then kiracomedy.com for my website. I have dates coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know when this comes out, but I'm
Memorial Day.
Oh, that's right.
It is Memorial
we had such
Day.
a great barbecue.
Memorial Day miscarriage story. It's what it's going to be forever when I see you.
That's what it is. Well, you'll find me. I'm around. I'm in DC in June. I'm in New York in June. Just find me.
There it is.
Hunt me down.
All right. I am Ryan Sickler on all social media, ryansickler.com. Talk to you all next week.